Full screen, ready to go. Cam, can I talk?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the beautiful Buffalo, New York Con-Pro Field. A chilly night for a battle between two teams up in the great north of the SFL. The Vancouver Legion and the Queen City Corsairs is next on the SFL Network on YouTube. Alongside Stephen Mullinex, I'm Cameron Irvine. How you doing, Stephen?
Cold, Cam. Pretty cold here in Queen City land here, but having a great time here being week 2 SFL. Could it get any better than this kind of weather and football? And it just reminds you of those days of autumn when, you know, you could smell the field and the leather, the pigskin. Just great to be here today.
Queen City hoping to avoid going 0-2. Vancouver hoping to go 2-0. Coin toss is right now. And Queen City is going to win the toss, and they have elected to defer tonight. So, go ahead, Stephen.
Oh, I was just going to talk about week one for both of these teams, Cam. As you mentioned, the Corsairs coming off a 17-10 loss to Chicago, while Vancouver, a big 38-17 win over Atlanta, really did that with a balanced offensive attack. 250 yards from Tom Pepper, over 150 yards from Ivan Sanchez. So balanced offense against a Queen City team that we know plays well at home.
Gus Schultz, despite the graphic, kick it, we're underway, is going to be on the field for Vancouver. It's our only graphic we didn't get a chance to get updated before tonight's contest as Chris Braun returns out to the 31-yard line. And the Vancouver Legion will start with the old Tom Pepper. Chris Braun, it's just a reunion out there.
Yeah, a lot of old names that you know, have been around this league for quite some time and really came together in week one to put together likely the most explosive offense we've seen in the SFL so far this season.
Please let us know how we're sounding in terms of levels. Ivan Sanchez gets the carry, picks up 2 yards. As we settle in tonight in a chilly press box here in Queen City.
Tom Pepper, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception in his week one outing against Atlanta.
Queen City in the all-black, Vancouver in the all-white tonight with 3 receivers. Sanchez will get another carry, and Ivan Sanchez in the first down to the 44-yard line. Good start for Vancouver on the road, who, yes, they beat Atlanta last week, a team that is now 0-2 to start the season, but they could make a huge statement here this evening.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just really trying to establish themselves in this league. And you know what? With the new season starting up, everyone's up for grabs. Everything's up for grabs. Anyone can win.
Pepper over the middle. That pass complete. A 6-yard pickup to Brett Killian. And if you missed it earlier in the game, again, Gus Schultz is the strong safety, starting strong safety now in Vancouver. But there is the talented offense led by Killian, Martino, and Braun at receiver.
Yeah, and Killian, 15 targets last week, 11 receptions, 174 yards, and a touchdown. Those are prime SFL wide receiver numbers.
Hand off to Sanchez, picks up 1. Mike Daggs filling us in on action around the league. And for up-to-the-minute scores, make sure you check out ScoreStream tonight. There's never been a better night to have ScoreStream downloaded as action gets going across the league. It's 3rd and 3. Taking a peek ourselves. Ball at midfield on the Queen City side of things. 3 receivers for the Legion. Nickel look, and Queen City jumps off sides. MeUndies laundry on the field. Sanchez not going to get there, but the penalty will get him there. And Vancouver maintaining possession now over 2 minutes, and this drive will continue.
Well, yeah, you're just really hurting yourself there if you're Queen City. Obviously, if the run had taken place, that wouldn't have got a first down. That would have been a 4th and inches, and then Vancouver has a call to make there on 4th down. Instead, you hand them a first down, a new set of downs, and now into the opposing territory.
MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/SimulationFL for 15% off your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with 100% satisfaction guaranteed, free shipping and returns, signature soft and stretchy MeUndies. 1st and 10 at the Queen City 45-yard line as Pepper will drop back to pass. And Tom Pepper all day fires it outside, complete. That's over to Slade Hansen. Getting to the 36-yard line as Pepper's mixing it up, and it's 2nd and short coming up.
Yeah, and making that connection look really easy there, Cam. Just a nice little out route there, and Pepper delivers it on a dime. Really puts that pass on the money, and here we go, 2nd and 1, inching very close to field goal range.
3-minute drive here for Vancouver on the road. Sanchez has a first down up to the Corsair 30. And Stephen, last week Queen City's defense gave up an early touchdown to Jared Willis, but they tightened up and were 2 yards away from sending that game to overtime.
Yeah, but for the game in total, Cam, they allowed 179 rushing yards. That was the most of any team in the SFL last week. So this defense surely is bruising from that performance and want to make up for it tonight.
3 receivers, 2 to the left for Pepper. Pepper, 3-step drop, will fire it outside to Killian. That's only going to pick up 3, but bleeding the clock and keeping A.J. Caswell on the bench. Drive approaches 4 minutes.
Cam, it reminds me of the movie Jurassic Park, and that T-Rex was kind of testing the fence to see where maybe it were some weaknesses. It's what it feels like Vancouver's doing with this Queen City Corsairs defense.
3 receivers. Pepper going to change the play, and look at Queen City's defense shift around as Pepper will hand it off to Sanchez inside, and Queen City wins that battle of the audibles. James Budden, the inside linebacker, gets the stop on defense for the Corsairs. Here's the look at what you have. Avery King, obviously. Jeff Duffy is an improved defensive lineman, but that secondary is where it's at for the Corsairs.
Yeah, and a lot of recognizable names. We're seeing a lot of the stars from last season, and Dunkley and Frank and all these guys, Sicario, returning for another season.
Pepper on 3rd down and 7. Hit as he threw. Open receiver. Killian caught it. Get those toes in on the sideline to the 9-yard line. Killian with 3 catches on the opening drive. And what a dart from Pepper.
Yeah, and we just saw a 6'5" man fly, Cam, as Killian gets up to get that ball. And look, the quarterback there, Pepper, threw it while he was getting hit. So a bit of a duck up in the air. And it just so happens that Killian had gotten so much separation in that zone between the 2 defenders, he had room to wait for it, jump for it, and get it.
First to goal at the 9-yard line. 6:08 to go in the first quarter. Pepper throws near side, caught by Killian. That's his 4th grab already on the defense of Pharaoh Rains, the undrafted rookie, and Queen City's got a couple of those. A 5-minute drive, still 5 yards away from pay dirt.
And Rains nearly got to that ball, but Pepper just delivers a perfect pass to his favorite target here so far early this season, which has been Killian.
4 receivers, yet to see a catch from Martino or Braun. Sanchez, the low man in the backfield. Again, nickel defense, handoff Sanchez. The C parts rather, and then Avery King in a one-on-one situation stops a touchdown. 3rd and goal from the 3. Queen City would get a huge victory here if they can hold them to 3.
Well, this is the 3rd time in this series, Cam, we've seen them go to that 4-wide set and run out of that set, trying to spread this defense out, and it's been successful 2 out of the 3 times.
3rd and goal from the 3 for Pepper, and they try to run against the goal line set, and they're going to stand them up. What a brilliant job up front there by that Queen City defense. Oscar Dunkley getting involved in the tackle for loss in the backfield, and a 6-minute drive will end in a field goal.
Well, that's a poor play call that Pepper should have changed and audibled out of when he saw the opposing defense was in that goal line. And that would have been a great opportunity to throw the ball with 4 wide receivers out there, but they got set in their call, ran the ball once again. The 5th time out of that formation, Queen City started to catch up.
It's a 22-yard chip shot for the Legion to take the early lead on the road, and that field goal is good. And Vancouver has the early 3-0 advantage. And Stephen, we don't often get to do this, but we actually get to take a look at some scores from around the league, because usually we're on the primetime game all by ourselves. Just before the half, Las Vegas leading Baltimore 14-13. Denver just scored a touchdown, and St. Louis just scored a touchdown, actually. The Gladiators now lead 20-17 in Oklahoma City. Sioux Falls on top of Tallahassee, 17-16 in the 3rd. And Denver now, I believe, has a 28-14 advantage over London, as that return by J.K. Johnson III, another undrafted Queen City rookie, gets the Corsairs up to the 33-yard line. And this Queen City offense led by that dynamic duo in the backfield, Caswell and Odom.
Yeah, Ash Odom, one of the top, or if not the top running back in the SFL. Had a tough sledding last game against Chicago. 24 carries, only 59 yards, 2.5 yards a carry.
It's actually now 35-14 Denver on top of London. In the first half, that is a shocker as the Nightwings are having some fun at home. Odom picks up 4 on his first carry. 4:05 left. Vancouver with the early lead. One of 5 games here in Sunday night action. And if you've got monitors, phones, consoles, get them all up and have some fun. And hopefully we'll have plenty of fun here in Buffalo tonight as Caswell flips it outside. Pass caught just ahead of the sticks, or just shy of the sticks, rather. That is Stephen Hacker, the 14th pick in the draft. Brings up 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, an impressive debut for Hacker in week 1. 8 receptions for 59 yards. Wasn't able to splash for a touchdown, but there wasn't much scoring that was happening for Queen City. Hoping now for a better home debut.
Queen City looking to move the chains, and they do. Ash Odom, first down to the 49-yard line. Let's meet this Legion defense as it's changed, as Gus Schultz now at strong safety. But Mark Lopez still back at free, and the 2 corners really talented, Major Key and Dante West.
Yeah, this entire secondary may go to the Pro Bowl this year, Cam. Forced a whopping 8 interceptions last week against Atlanta on quarterback Marcus Dunhill.
And AJ Caswell going to have to be very careful here tonight. They definitely don't want to turn the ball over early and often against Vancouver. He's 1 for 1 so far, as Caswell's pass is a dangerous one, and almost turning around in time to make the pick was Levant Irvine. That pass intended for Johnson III, Irvine in coverage in the slot. .308 to go in the first. Ball at the 49-yard line for the Corsairs. 3 receivers, 2 to the right side for Queen City. And Caswell drops to throw, fires it outside, caught. That's a 4-yard pickup. And that, I believe, was Hacker again in coverage among the trees. Devon Woods III getting out there at defensive tackle. 3rd down and 6 at the 47. There's a look at Gus Schultz, the new signee from Vancouver, one of 3 signings on the transaction sheet this week. And I'm sure we'll see a few more in or after week 2. That pass intended for Chris Curtis, that's incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the drive stalls out in Vancouver. Good pass coverage. Caswell's started 1 for 3, and the Queen City Corsairs will have to punt it away.
Well, Vancouver's defense showing you, why they limited Atlanta to just 17 points last week. They just play lockdown defense, and here Caswell and the Curtis connection that worked so well last season, they just misconnect there on that 3rd down attempt. Excuse me.
This is inside the 10, going to bounce at the 2, the 1, rolling, and he didn't stop it in time, Steven. Oh my goodness. The ball rolls into the end zone. What a terrible mistake, and a great punt from Ricky Matthews.
Somebody get that guy's eyes checked. Those 2 just watched it roll in, Camp. At any point, they could have stopped that ball. Maybe it was a matter of one thinking that the other one was going to get it, and the other one thinking the other one was going to get it.
Boy, that's tough to swallow there for Queen City. As the Corsairs off to a slow start, Vancouver's got the early momentum here in the first quarter. Handoff to Sanchez. He gets decked after 1-yard pickup, just 19 yards. On 8 carries. The Simulation Football League is sponsored and presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. By Bit Central and Fuel, transforming SFL media in 2019. By Harry's, all you need for a close, comfortable shave. And by Matt Doyle Designs, the official design partner of the SFL. Pepper going long, has Killian caught for a 1st down. And Vancouver's successes here early in Buffalo in the cold continue.
Well, that's just an excellent throw by Pepper. Throwing it to the outside shoulder towards the out-of-bound line. That is shielding, using the receiver as a shield from number 25, Franks, shielding him away from the ball. Just excellent ball placement there by the veteran quarterback.
Frank on the tackle. Chat shout-outs to Dante West, Mark, Jonathan Sanchez, Xander Gold, Snippa Eagle Eye, Andy Hamilton and many others joining us in the chat room this evening with 4 other games going on around the league with us. That pass is intercepted. What a play by Sicario. He's still up and alive as that ball was overthrown to Brett Killian. That was an unbelievable play.
Well, it appears to be a gift, and there's the problem right there. Killian gets stopped on his route by number 21, and what that does, it just allows for that separation from the chemistry really between the quarterback and the receiver. The quarterback expecting Killian to be in a certain spot, and the defender stopped him from getting there, as you see. And you think it's an overthrow, but that pass could have been right on the money. It was just missed time because of that little stop by the defender.
Corsairs taking advantage of some stuff. Oh boy, look at Caswell. No gain on the quarterback keeper. Shut me up. Nice tackle by Leroy Jenkins inside, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 with a minute to go in the first.
Well, that appeared to be a miscommunication on the offensive line. What it looked like to be the tackle and the guard both focused on the defensive end instead of one of them shifting over towards the middle, and it left the quarterback just wide open to be hit by 2 guys right there.
Sicario has a pick in each of his first 2 games. Caswell's pass complete. That is his 2nd of the night. Picks up 3 to Curtis. His first catch, actually his 3rd completion of the night for Caswell. 3rd down and 7. Andrew Hamilton wanted a pass interference call on that interception. What did you see, Stephen?
I actually thought the defender was just playing his spot. It wasn't necessarily trying to stop the route. They just kind of ran into each other, but you know how rare those kind of penalties happen in there, or at least they're called.
Caswell's pass is caught down the field. That is Elgin Villanueva, a longtime vet of this Corsair team, and he gets Queen City a first down in traffic.
And Cam, I was just about to talk about Vancouver's ability to really get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and let me tell you what, Caswell's been having someone in his face all night. And they're just great job by the veteran quarterback to deliver a nice ball to his receiver in the face of so much traffic.
What a ridiculously fast first quarter from Buffalo. Vancouver is beating Queen City 3-0, and this is the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. First and 10 at the Vancouver 39. The Corsairs are driving as Caswell's starting to get some momentum. Now flips it outside to Johnson III. That pass is complete for a 6-yard pickup.
And they are now in that edge of field goal range. So the one thing you don't want to do if you're the Corsairs is go backwards. Want to at least have an opportunity to tie this game. But we're seeing a better offensive flow and performance here from the Corsairs as they're starting to figure out this Vancouver defense.
2nd and 4 at the Legion 33. Caswell with 3 receivers. Nickel look there from Vancouver. Caswell again is punished for running inside. That is, I think that's, no, it's Devon Woods the 3rd who crushed him. And Caswell, who was most prone to run out of the shotgun in this offense, is having no success here in the first half.
Yeah, it's a bit perplexing. I understand that maybe the Corsairs are trying to do a little trickery here, but you have Ash Odom in your backfield. Why not use him to get those kind of rushing yards?
3rd down and 3. Odom's been a bit quiet in the first half. They're going to get Caswell again, and he's going to get the first down and more to the Vancouver 23-yard line. Maybe that's why, Steven, 3rd time's the charm.
Yeah, just put my foot in my mouth, I guess, there with that. But I still stand on that. You know, you can go with the running quarterback. Trust me, in Dallas we did. You just run the risk of injuring your most important player when you do so for what, 10 yards?
Yeah, maybe not worth it, but Caswell been historically healthy, and has stayed upright, unlike some other quarterbacks who have not been as fortunate as Chris Curtis catches that pass for 4 yards into the Vancouver red zone for the first time tonight. .36 left, first half, 3-0. Vancouver on top of Queen City. A fast-moving half as there's a look at Dante West, who nearly had that pick on Villanueva, but Villanueva getting the better of him. Odom in the backfield is the single back with 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Caswell's sending them all out to the pattern. The pass is tipped and nearly intercepted. Lopez had an opportunity at it as it was deflected by Ryan Wilson, the second in the slot.
Well, dangerous throwing to that side of the field for Vancouver, especially that duo of West and Lopez combined for 5 interceptions last week. I wouldn't be throwing it to that area if I was Caswell.
3 receivers, 3rd down and 6 at the 19. Split backs. Caswell throws it short. Johnson, 1 yard shy. Take it away, Stephen, as Irvine and Champion combine for the tackle.
You know what I'm going to say, right? I hate throwing in front of the sticks on 3rd down and putting the onus on your receiver to have to get that extra 1 or 2 yards. But, you know, it is the reality of the SFL. If they're going to stop you from getting anything deep, you got to take what they're going to give you sometimes.
As of right now, Queen City's offense staying out on the field. I don't think they're fooling anybody, though, as a field goal would tie this ball game. Down to 6, down to 5. And Caswell's trying to get a hard count. Vancouver stays steady. Queen City will burn a timeout, and they'll bring the field goal unit on to try to tie this thing up.
Yeah, if you're going to run the ball with your quarterback, that's probably the ideal situation to do so, because he's just so close to the center, so close to the line of scrimmage, and in that situation, so close to just getting a 1st down, he can almost jump and get it. But, you know, that's just the way the play calling has fallen on this series, and it's worked in some places, and it hasn't in others, and it results here in this 4th down and a likely field goal attempt.
All right, so with 8:36 left here in the 2nd quarter, Queen City going to try to tie this game with a chip shot field goal of their own. This would be from 30 yards out for Ricky Matthews. Been a fast-moving and not a ton of big plays down the field type of game, as Matthews' field goal is good. We're tied at 3, and it really does feel like, Stephen, that these two are just kind of feeling each other out, and Queen City certainly not opposed to playing a low-scoring affair.
Yeah, they played a low-scoring affair in their previous game, so this really kind of matches up with what they've shown us so far this season. For Vancouver, they just haven't clicked as much as they have they did there in week 1, but this is, you know, they're not playing at home like they did in week 1. They're playing in, you know, Queen City's home stadium, so, you know, that's always tough to go into an opponent's house and pull out a victory. So, you know, they got that home win, feeling good about themselves. They bring that on that momentum in here, and they're just a little sluggish.
Braun returns up to the 28-yard line. Some updates from around the league on some scores. Right now, 4:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-13 Vegas on top of Baltimore. And then Denver just got a field goal over London, 38-14. That game's still in the 2nd quarter. St. Louis is up 21-20 on OKC in the 3rd. And Sioux Falls beating Tallahassee 24-16 in the 4th. Pepper in some trouble, gets away. Pepper down the field, caught by Killian. Frank with the tackle, but Tom Pepper, elusive in the pocket, makes it happen for Vancouver's offense.
Well, Elon Musk just called, and he wants to use the quarterback's arm to send rockets into space, Cam. What a beautiful ball right there, right into the hands of Killian Pepper. Delivers the dime, and boy, all of a sudden, one big play has broke open this game.
So Pepper now up to 100 yards passing in the 1st half. He'll go empty 5 wide at the Queen City 35 following that bomb to Killian, and Killian is crushing the Corsairs secondary right now as Mickey Martino gets his first catch of the half for 4 up to the Corsair 30.
Now you're starting to see some of the offense here that led the Legion to score 38 points against Atlanta last week. You're starting to see they really did bring a real balanced attack. 250 yards passing, over 150 yards rushing. But here we're seeing it, the arm of Pepper helping to lead them down the field. Now a run.
And Sanchez gets wrapped up and actually hit pretty hard by King that sent him backwards. The eventual tackle made by Tad Myers on that defensive line, and Queen City definitely going to try to keep Vancouver a little off balance here, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and Avery King is a Pro Bowl linebacker, 10 tackles 2 pass defense, 1 tackle for loss last week against Chicago.
2 backs, 2 receivers. And Pepper deep into traffic, incomplete. Really nice coverage on Martino down the field. Sicario, who already has an interception tonight, gets the pass defense, and that'll force another field goal.
Well, Queen City coming to the call here. As you mentioned, Sicario in nice position there. Actually, that is, let's see, that is Sicario, excuse me, number 31. Actually just gets in front of the receiver and able to knock that down. Probably had enough time to get his hands up there, maybe snatch that ball away, but wants to just make sure this is it looks like to be a punt here by Vancouver.
That's amazingly surprising, Stephen. That would be a 46-yard field goal. And there must be some wind in the face of the Legion for them to not attempt. Oh, they stopped at the goal line. Boy, I tell you what, I've been stopped in my tracks a couple of times tonight. I thought there was no way Vancouver was going to make this play.
Is this special teams defender here in the goal? He's in the end zone when he touches that ball. That should be on the 20, Cam. That should not be on the goal line.
Yeah, that is a rough call for Queen City. I have to agree with you, Stephen. He's although we did see an event in a Denver-Vegas game a while back that proved to be otherwise according to the rules, as Odom picks up 5 yards, gets out of his own shadow of the end zone. I vaguely remember, Stephen, last year a play, and I think it was determined that as long as the ball is out of the end zone, that they are awarding the ball being downed inside the 5, wherever it is. It's an interesting rule. But I'm with you. I thought that should have been a touchback as well. Queen City pinned up in the shadow against the shadow of their own goalpost. Odom will get another carry for 4 to make it a 3rd and 1, just shy of the 10.5-yard line, which is where they need a first down.
Well, that's the difference when you run the ball with Odom as opposed to your quarterback Caswell. Odom runs with no regard for human life, so he will pound that ball and put linebackers on their backs to try and get that first down.
3 receivers, split backs. Caswell changing the play, and Caswell fires. Johnson, the 3rd, caught it for a first down to the 24. That's his 3rd catch of the first half, and Queen City starts on their half-yard line and making plays. Now definitely in decent range as Johnson comes in on a slant.
Well, that's why they're the 4-time champions, Cam. They come in with an unconventional game plan and make unconventional plays. At times, they're 3rd and 1. You think that's an easy guess to be a run play, either with Odom or even with Caswell. Instead, they throw the little slant route there, get the first down, and they're in business.
John Rowland, Jeff DK, Jonathan Sanchez, 4TL Array in the chat here recently as Odom picks up 8 out to the 31-yard line. Ash Odom running good here halfway through the second quarter. Just crazy fast first half.
You know, some of the SFL running backs are elusive. They use that spin move and their agility. Ash Odom likely has that in his repertoire, but right now he's looking for contact, Cam. He's looking for defenders to hit out there. Probably a little frustrated not getting enough carries there in the first quarter.
This is a 31-yard drive right now, and Caswell's pass is caught by Curtis. First down, just past the sticks with 4:59 to go in the first half. And boy, we've had limited possessions here. This is just the 3rd possession for Queen City of this half, and the Legion have also had 3.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty long drives, but the drives that the clock has just been kept going. There hasn't been a lot of out of bounds plays, and so yeah, it's just made this game seem incredibly fast. We may catch up with the rest, Cam.
Boy, would that be nice. 1st and 10 at the 34. Caswell going to take off and run again. That's his 4th carry of the first couple of quarters, and he gets helping hand from Casper on the line, and it's 2nd and 6.
And very reminiscent of what we saw from Vancouver earlier in this game, and then they had one explosive play there in the last series and got themselves back into field goal range, but for some reason refused to use their star kicker on what would normally be kind of a makeable field goal for him.
Yeah, and that's a good point, too, because Ashley Finch certainly has the range as the Legion decided to punt and pin Queen City back, but Stephen Hacker gets another first down up to midfield, and that strategy, Stephen, is not working out here on this drive. Queen City responding.
And this is perfect for these deep out plays, Cam, and I love to see it where the ball is delivered quick enough for the receiver to actually do something with it yards after catch-wise, able to turn it upfield. So many times we see those medium, short, even deep routes make the receiver go out of bounds.
First down and 10 to the 49-yard line for Caswell. He flips it out to Odom. Odom past midfield, and Odom takes a shot to the chest of the 47-yard line. West on the tackle, just a 4-yard gain. And Stephen, I think we've had one play over 20 yards here in the first half.
Yeah, that's why we got so excited about it, because we just hadn't seen it all game. But look, let's talk about the defender right there. Dante West was in Dallas last season and then had a career game last week. 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 3 interceptions in his first game of the season with Vancouver again.
Caswell wide open. Stephen Hacker, how did he get away from Major Key? And Caswell saw him just at the last second as he turned and fired that one towards the near side for another Corsair first down.
Yeah, it's a lot of cushion given to this guy right here. And Key looks like he was just out there playing the zone, and it was just said, you know, and sometimes like that, the receivers will get away from you and gain that much separation, and you just have to try and get that makeup speed to try and make a play and push them out of bounds. But like you're saying, it puts them in field goal range and scoring position, and this clock keeps ticking.
Caswell again going to take it for 1 yard. This could be the longest drive in league history, because that ball was right on the line.
Yeah, this could be the most runs by a quarterback since Shabazz Synergy.
Definitely more than usual we're seeing out of Caswell running the ball. Queen City must have seen something they thought they could exploit. For the most part, it has not worked out. Hand off to Odom, and Odom got a couple of blocks and picks up 6 out to the Vancouver 24-yard line. That clock is still ticking, 2.5 to go in the first half.
And you see runs like that by Odom, and you think, man, all these runs that the quarterback has taken, what could have Odom done with those runs? You know, so you got to balance out how you use your star back and then when you use those specialty quarterback runs.
2:13 to go, just before the 2-minute warning. 3 receivers, split backs Caswell. We've seen that plenty of times tonight as well. Stopping on a dime is Chris Curtis. He's got another first down to the Legion 17-yard line as we come up on the quip. 2-minute warning. 3-3. What a dogfight here as Queen City's on the move.
Let's go.
First down and 10 from the 17. 3 receivers. Caswell out of the gun. Vancouver sticking with the nickel. Caswell, great pocket. Nearly threw a pick. Frank Champion knocks that away. Stephen Hacker was the intended receiver. And I think that may be the first incompletion of this drive, Stephen.
Yeah, and it goes down the middle of the field. And a lot of the completions that we've seen on this series have been on the outside. So that's just Queen City trying to attack a different part of this defense where I think they're the strongest, which is right in that middle area.
Second down at the 17. Caswell again out of split backs, fires it outside to JK3, and he picks up 5, 3rd and 5, 4 receptions on 5 targets for Johnson. And this ball's on the 12, and what do you think, Stephen? We going to see our first touchdown of the night, or are they going to keep plugging this along?
Well, we haven't seen one yet, and last week they were 8 of 18 for 3rd down. I don't know if they're that good in this game yet, so this is big right here. Haven't been converting these 3rd downs in the red zone. Need to convert this one.
Trips left. Caswell going to throw far side. Caught by Hecker. Touchdown, Queen City. And the Corsairs take their first lead of the day.
Well, you mentioned it, Cam. They had been exploiting those little mid to deep outs with Hacker, who's been able to actually turn the corner earlier in this series off one of those out plays, out routes. Here, this delivers a nice ball, Caswell does, to Hacker to give him enough time to turn it upfield and get the touchdown.
So Queen City ends the touchdown drought here in Buffalo, and they are an extra point away from matching their total from last week. And now through 6 quarters, Queen City's defense has given up just 20 points. As Matthews comes off the extra point, low snap, it's blocked! Blocked by Vancouver, and so it'll stay 9-3 as the Legion get a push off a bad snap. Stephen, I don't know if you cut out or not, but did you happen to see that block extra point?
No, I'm sorry, I cut out. I apologize.
Vancouver blocked the extra point there on a bad snap, and it's 9-3.
Wow. Well, you know, that's good for Vancouver in the sense that 2 field goals ties this game up. Bad for Queen City. If Vancouver's able to put a touchdown on the board, they can take the lead with an extra point.
Especially in a game full of field goals, or at least before that Hacker touchdown. And congrats to Stephen Hacker, the rookie, finding the end zone. So, go ahead.
No, I'll just say, you know, one thing that Vancouver was able to do last week, they haven't been able to do this week, is run the football. And we've seen Queen City do a really good job here as Pepper steps back from pocket to throw. Zach.
Pepper sacked by big number 92, John Setzer. And that's not going to bode well for Vancouver. I bet they play this conservatively now and just hit the showers.
Yeah, you think they're going to try and run this clock by running the ball?
After taking a sack on first down, I mean, they did hit Killian deep once, but that's been the only explosive play, and then they got no points out of that drive. Nickel look for Queen City. Pepper under center, back to the pass. Everybody's going deep. Checks it to a stop route to the 30 with 35 seconds and counting. Quarterback numbers are shown. Braun with his first catch tonight.
Well, it hasn't been Vancouver's night so far. You're thinking about that long punt that was fielded at the goal line, which probably shouldn't have been. They were in field goal range, but they opt for some reason not to use their contracted kicker and instead punt that ball. So some lost opportunities there.
Pepper out of the empty, 3rd and 7, sideline caught by Mickey Martino, and it looked like he was going to go way out of bounds, and Martino does a heck of a job here with the feet.
Yeah, just nice job of the offensive line giving the quarterback enough time to make that pass, and that deep outs route right there, that takes a lot of time to develop. So you're going to have an offensive line that stays stout and keeps that pass rush at bay, and they get that. Now with 8 seconds left, do you maybe try to get something short out of bounds so you can set up a shorter bomb in the end zone?
They're going to run it to Sanchez, and that didn't do much, and Vancouver's just going to concede a Hail Mary attempt there, and I'm a little surprised at that call. Vancouver playing this game very conservatively.
It doesn't make football sense necessarily, but maybe it was just a thought that we don't want to throw an interception here. Maybe something that'll come back on us. Let's just try to see what we can get in the running game, call a quick timeout, and throw this Hail Mary.
6 catches for 91 yards for Killian in the first half. As Pepper has just 3 defensive linemen going towards him. Now a 4-man rush. Pepper can't get away. Duffy comes in out of nowhere on a 3-man rush and buries Pepper deep in the backfield. And that's how the first half will end, with Queen City, lo and behold, ending up taking the lead into the locker room after a late touchdown in the second frame. First half stats and analysis right here. Pretty even, Steven, and just not much to show for either team.
Yeah, you're right. Low-scoring affair. Both of these offenses really just kind of feeling each other out, and these defenses playing well. Particularly, I think Queen City in stopping the run, Vancouver's rush, making them a bit one-dimensional. Although that dimension between Peppers and Killian has been great tonight. We haven't seen much of Braun and not too much of Martino, so haven't really been spreading the ball around a lot. to their other contracted receivers. And with the run being stuffed by the Corsairs, it's really kind of limited them offensively. As for Queen City's offense, took them a little time to get going, but they were able to score a touchdown to put them up in this game late in the second quarter. So you get the sense that maybe their offense is meshing a little bit quicker than Vancouver's.
Sicario's pick six was probably the best play for Queen City in that first half. You're seeing the best play from Vancouver there as Killian got open down the field. Queen City's been able to get more quarterback pressure on Tom Pepper than vice versa, as Caswell keeping a clean sheet so far after Vancouver had 8 picks last week.
Yeah, and I don't think he got a pick six. He did get a pick. I don't think I cut out on a pick six, though, in a 9-3 game. But Sicario's interception, the lone turnover here in this game, and it just so happens that the Corsairs are up, so I don't think that's a coincidence.
Start of the second half as we roll on through. 18 degrees, chilly, clear night from Buffalo. Haven't had a snow game yet. Almost had a snow game in St. Louis tonight, but it cleared out around 5 o'clock. And there was a lot of snow in Baltimore today up in that D.C. area, but the Vultures on the road tonight in Vegas as J.K. the third gets it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Nice return, and the Corsairs are going to end up with excellent field position. And, Stephen, I do want to, while we have a moment, I do want to revisit something that is new in the SFL this year, which allows teams to elect to defer or receive prior to kickoff. Queen City won the toss tonight, deferred, and now they have a chance to score before the end of the half and then score on their first possession of the third quarter.
Yeah, it's always been my philosophy, you know, if you get the opportunity to get the ball at the beginning of the game, your offense gets the ball first. I like that. I like the opportunity to score first and kind of it puts your offense, your whole team up early.
Well, certainly worked out for the Patriots today, let me tell you that. As Champion wrestles down Odom after a gain of just 2. That was one of the better jobs Vancouver's done on Odom tonight, but both running backs have not really had a lot of momentum getting going.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, although I think Odom just hasn't had the opportunities as much as you probably would like, but Sanchez has been clearly stopped and stifled in this game, and coming off really a career game last week is surprising.
Odom picks up 8 on the carry to the Queen City 49, 10:15 to go. 3rd and 1 coming up.
And as we see here, Odom, that powerful but quick running style, really known for putting defenders on their backs. Just a powerful statue of a man there that I think any team would covet having him in their backfield.
3rd down and 1. Caswell's going to throw for it. And Caswell's running out of time. Hit as he threw, and what an extension by Major Key. Man, that guy's got some major ups, and it forces a 4th and 1. They could go for it.
Yeah, Cam, just really surprised to see on a 3rd and 1 them in the shotgun. It just seems like they're shying away from using their bulking running back on short 3rd down situations. It's kind of mind-boggling.
And they're just going to punt it away and trust their defense. I don't blame them. And, Stephen, we've been calling Queen City Corsair games for a long time, and we've called many of them as they've been in playoff contention and in the playoffs quite a bit over their long history. And it is kind of funny and kind of interesting sometimes how Queen City just decides to not throw or not run too much in any random night. It's almost kind of like they just like seeing what sticks in the regular season.
Yeah, it's almost like they are the kings of getting hot at the right time. You always hear that phrase in football. You know, the teams that win the championship or the Super Bowl, they just get hot right at the end of the season and going into the postseason. And I think that's been true for Queen City. For the first half of the season, they don't always look like a championship team. But when it really matters there at the end of the season, they do.
Sanchez picks up 6 yards. Sicario on that last tackle. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by MediaTek Institute. Visit mediatek.edu for diploma programs. Turn your passion into your profession. By MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women. And by Movement, premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories. 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard run from Sanchez. What a block! And that's a first down. Thought Sanchez was going to spring for more than that, but Vancouver moving the chains.
Yeah, and just good maybe to get Sanchez going there. That excellent block in front of him so he can get that first down. But it's been tough sledding for Sanchez, so maybe it's just a ray of hope for him as maybe they'll continue to use him here on this series and get him going.
Pass caught by Martino over the middle. That's a gain of 7. And Vancouver's starting to pick up a little momentum on offense.
Yeah, and we're starting to just see that balanced attack through the air, on the ground. These are guys that really look like they're going to, last season they were, one of the teams that we thought had a real chance of could have been better than what they were. Just so many close games. And with their week 1 explosion, really big things here in store for Vancouver, we believe.
8:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 3. Handoff Sanchez. He's got a first down. Avon Sanchez up to the 37-yard line. That's back-to-back first downs for Vancouver, and they start the second half like they start the first, going on a long drive.
Yeah, and we're not really seeing any long, deep plays from either one of these teams. Really, outside of maybe some deep outs there by Queen City at the end of the first half. But not going for anything deep, really taking all the short stuff.
Sanchez picks up 4. Our first game of the night has gone final, Stephen, and the Sioux Falls Sparrows beat the Tallahassee Pride 31-23. So Alaska and Tallahassee, the 2 teams that were in the championship game the last 2 years, lose their opening game. And Sioux Falls bounces back from losing on a missed field goal at the end of the ball game last week in Vegas, as that pass is caught by Killian for a first down. What do you think of that result there in South Dakota?
Wow, I'm really surprised. And part of me is really surprised because of what we saw at the Tallahassee, and then the other part of me isn't surprised because I know how hard it is to win in Sioux Falls. But yeah, and the fact that Tallahassee, they had a bye week that first week, so they had just a week to watch Sioux Falls play and still get it.
Sanchez again is hammered, only a pickup of 2. Pharaoh Reigns in there on the stop along with Tyro Mendez. 2nd and 8 at midfield for the Legion. That time ticking away.
Well, Sanchez, 6'3", 230. It's a guy that wants to do damage physically, but he has just seen guys of equal or even greater size really meet him at the line of scrimmage like a wall, and just been tough running for him.
Pepper out to Killian, a 5-yard pickup to the Queen City 44. Killian continues to be the #1 target on either side of the ball, and a big 3rd and 3 coming up.
Yeah, and that's a ball I would love to have seen delivered just slightly earlier to allow Killian to run upfield and try to get that first down. Instead, his momentum takes him out of bounds, and we face a 3rd and 3 here for Vancouver.
146 yards for Pepper. 3rd down and 3 at the 44. Pepper running out of time and stands tall in the pocket and completes it to Slade Hansen, his 2nd catch of the night. Boy, great patience from Tom. TP 16 in the pocket.
Well, he delivers in the face of pressure, Cam. His eyes just glued downfield, and he finds his man wide open in the middle of the field to convert that first down. Just the ice in the veins there by Pepper.
5:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Empty backfield for Tom, and Tom's in trouble. Off his back foot, Avery King should have had it. That ball actually may have been deflected off the shoulder pad of the rusher, or the incoming rusher, onto Pepper, and that was blown up from the start thanks to that pressure again from Queen City.
Yeah, and that's the failing of the offensive line. You had just it was against a dime defense there. 3 rushing linemen, and they're able to get really quick penetration.
Pepper's under center. 2nd and 10 at the Corsair 35. Sanchez is out, and instead getting that carry is Myron Jackson Jr. Another 3rd down coming up here for Vancouver. This would be a 48-yard field goal from here. They are going in the opposite direction as they were in the 2nd when they punted.
So you're hoping the wind is with them this time rather than against them. But
yeah, I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're going to come out here on this in this 5 wide receiver set, see if they can pass for themselves past the first down mark.
Dime look. Queen City won the audible game earlier. Pepper changing the play, fires outside. Killian short of the first down, just 2 yards away as Dunkley was the one that brought him down. There's an updated look at some of the top receivers today. Killian with 109, and this would be a 43-yard field goal. They passed on a 46 earlier, and they're going to pass again.
Wow.
This is dumbfounding.
Is there something wrong with their kicker, Cam?
Possibly.
He's injured, and we just didn't see the alert for that.
That is a possibility. That would be a first. They stopped it at the 3-yard line, Stephen. They blew that one dead. All is fair in love and war, I suppose. That's the second time that it looked like a Legion player was in the end zone, and this is a bizarre game that Vancouver's playing right now.
Yeah, well, I think part of it is just this mystery surrounding why they're not kicking field goals more than they have, and it points to me that this guy Finch might be hurt.
And now Odom picks up 4, and Steven, I gotta ask, because I gotta be honest, I don't remember, but that Corsair touchdown drive, that was off the goal line, was it not?
Oh,
wow. Was that the same drive? I think that was the same drive, and we already saw this not work for Vancouver, and Queen City again in the shadow of their own goalpost will hand it off to Odom. No gain that time. Champion and Irvine bringing him down. 3rd and 6 from the 7, and Vancouver continues to try to hold on with defense.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, Cam, the way that this game has been really played conservatively on offensive side of the ball, specifically by Queen City, that they could take the ball 99 yards and score the way that this offense has been clicking. And there's Odom. Wow, what a great run.
Odom did not get the first down, picks up 4, 4th and 2 at the 11-yard line. So Vancouver gets the stop, and Queen City's going to be punting out of their own end zone. Vancouver's going to end up with great field position, although I don't know how much that matters unless they can get in the end zone, because they're not. I mean, if they would have kicked these 2 field goals, we could be at 9-9 right now, and there's obviously some reason that Vancouver is hesitant to bring out Ashley Finch tonight, and they'll get the ball started at the Corsair 49-yard line.
Well, you know, Finch was on the field at some point. They do have a field goal, so
yeah,
he certainly kicked that field goal. So, you know, what's the reason why they are so hesitant to bring him out here to make anything that's 40+?
1st and 10 of the 49. And Sanchez lost a yard back to midfield. Setzer on the tackle, also had a sack earlier tonight. Now 3 minutes to go in the 3rd.
Boy, running the ball has not worked for Vancouver very often, although they were able to convert a couple first downs in the last series. But just no long runs for Sanchez tonight. But you got to keep trying. You got to keep this defense on it. Not let them just to play back the whole game.
Pepper out to Killian, 4-yard gain. 3rd and 7 coming up again here for the Legion with 2:46 to go in the 3rd, and especially on a night where we've seen some crazy stuff. If you're watching some other SFL action, this game it's almost like these 2 teams would just like to tie and go home. Maybe Vancouver spreading that Canadian hospitality a little too much around here.
Like kissing your sister didn't really get the job done.
3rd and 7 at the 46 for Pepper. Pepper down the middle. Did he get the first down? They said he did not. Zane Doty with the first down saving tackle over to Braun. And with the ball on the 39, I'd go for it if I was Vancouver.
Yeah, and I agree with the call. I didn't think he made that first down. The way that the angle that I saw him twist down when he got tackled, just never really saw the ball get across that yellow line.
4th and inches, 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. They are going to go for it. Sanchez gets an unblocked man, Pharaoh Reigns, and runs right over him before Avery King shuts him down to the 35-yard line. But how about Avant Sanchez? One-on-one, you do not scare me, young undrafted rookie.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous proposition for Vancouver. They haven't had a lot of powerful runs from Sanchez tonight. Seems to be going down with the first touch, but there makes the extra effort to get the first touch.
Pepper going to throw on 1st and 10. Wobbly pass, and a couple of receivers laid out of their breaks as Queen City was all up on the line. That pass intended for Killian as Pepper has some words with the Corsair defense.
Yeah, certainly felt rushed there, and that play just didn't have time to develop. Wide receivers didn't have time to complete their routes, and I think Pepper just threw the ball hoping one of his guys would come down with it. It's just never a good proposition you ever want to be in as an offense.
1:27 left, third quarter. Tom Pepper fires it to Killian, and Killian picks up 5. Oscar Dunkley on the wrap-up. Look at those numbers for Killian. 11 catches for 118 yards tonight in a game the Legion are losing.
Yeah, and a lot of those coming on that short out there where it's been a guaranteed 5 yards every time they run that play. Just unfortunately, sometimes it's not exactly 5 yards and it's just short of the first down mark.
Empty for Pepper. 55 seconds to go, third quarter. Tom Pepper steps up in the pocket. Pepper running out of time. All the way across the field. Martino right in front of the sticks for the first down. Reigns on the tackle, but a beautiful rainbow pass from Tom Pepper.
Well, that's usually a big no-no in football, throwing across your body. How many times, Cam, have we seen that picked off by a defender? But there, Martino makes a great athletic effort, and boy, just barely gets across that first down mark.
Pepper 1st and 10, fires deep, intercepted. Coverage all over the intended receiver, which was Brick Wall, the fullback. Pass is picked off by Oscar Dunkley.
Wow, Cam, you've got 3 contracted receivers on the field, and you elect to go to your fullback. And a fullback that was, in fact, I believe, double covered. I saw 2 Queen City defenders in that area. To me, if your fullback is covered, double covered, that means one of your big guys is wide open. But Pepper really stares down his target, and it cost him there with the interception in the red zone.
Big-time mismatch down the field, and that's Pepper's 2nd interception of the night. Vancouver has not picked off A.J. Caswell. Handoff to Odom. Odom 15, up to the 17-yard line, a 5-yard gain. Will likely be the final play of the third with 15 left.
Yeah, Odom had an opportunity to break that play if he just would have stayed to the outside, but unfortunately cut back inside to find 2 Vancouver defenders waiting on.
That's the end of the third quarter. It's still 9-3 as Queen City trying to hold on in the fourth and get their first win of the season. Stephen Hacker, 5 catches, 47 yards on 8 targets tonight. And Queen City could bury the Legion here if they get another score, since points have been hard to come by tonight, as Pepper's pass to the outside is ruled, I think that was an incomplete pass. And by the way, shout out to Vancouver's defense as well. They've only given up 12, I believe 12 points through the first 3 quarters of each of their ball games. Obviously Atlanta got some garbage time points in the fourth quarter in that blowout last week. Legion struggling here on the road to produce any sort of momentum since their opening drive that got him 3. Caswell's pass is nearly intercepted. Levant Irvine, it bounced all over his head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And that's a 4th down. Vancouver gets off the field, but they could have had incredible field position if Levant would have been able to hold on to that pick.
Yeah, Irvine almost came down with that ball with his shoulder pads catching it for him. I mean, that thing hung on to him like he had some stickum all over his body, but in the end of the day, he does the job. It gets a nice pass deflection and causes his punt.
That punt skies high into the air at the 45-yard line. Braun will return to the 49. 10:46 remains. Action around the league heating up. Oh, wow. Las Vegas just took the lead on a field goal with 1 second left, leading Baltimore 31-30. And the Vultures on the kickoff return as we speak, and no dice. The Fury beat the Vultures tonight. We'll get Steven's thoughts on that here in a moment. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Handoff to Sanchez, and Avon Sanchez picks up just 2. We've seen that all night long. 49 yards on 18 carries. Steven, 31-30. The Fury are 2-0.
Yeah, Vegas beats Baltimore. Baltimore beat Alaska in week 1. So that means Vegas is better than Alaska, if my math is right.
Could be, although I'm sure the Storm would have something to say about that. 2nd and 8 at midfield, the handoff. It's a fumble! Sanchez fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by the big offensive lineman, the guard. Bubba Klein saves the day as Queen City had a few players ball hawking trying to get the turnover.
Yeah, Cam, just instant penetration there by Queen City, and it looked as if it surprised Sanchez because it happened in the backfield, and he just lost his grip on the ball, and an opportunity there for Queen City to jump on it, but they couldn't.
Pepper back to pass, deep drop, steps in the pocket, fires on the back foot, and what a play down the field by Budden in coverage, although there was heavy coverage elsewhere. 4th down again here as we get another look at it.
And Pepper having to run a lot in this game, Cam. We've seen him really maneuver and do some Houdini things in the pocket. And, anytime that you make a quarterback uncomfortable, they're going to throw errant throws like this. And, maybe there was an opportunity for the receiver to catch it, but it was going to be thrown in triple coverage with the defender there getting his hand on it before he could make it to the wide receiver.
And Budden deflecting that pass was probably the best case scenario for Vancouver because that ball was going into double coverage down the field and could have easily been Pepper's 3rd pick. This punt to the 15-yard line returned up to the 17, and time starting to become an enemy of Vancouver, but these two teams still shaking hands and getting to know each other with 9:35 to go in the 4th. How much more do you need to know?
Well, I think this game probably should be tied right now. At least they had an opportunity to be tied if Vancouver kicks 2 kind of makeable field goals and just elected not to use their kicker. And I think that's the biggest question mark in this game right now.
So the handoff goes to Odom to start the drive. Odom only picks up 2. And, it's one thing, Steven, is you look at Odom's average. It's one thing to shut down Avon Sanchez, a guy that is not, a 2,000-yard rusher by any means. But Ash Odom, this guy can crush you on any given day. And the Legion have really kept him in check. I think his longest run is probably 8 or 9 yards. As it's 2nd and 8 for Caswell, handing off to Odom again. And Odom again is stiffed at the 22, only a gain of 3.
Well, remember, he only averaged 2.5 yards a carry in his first game against Chicago. And he's averaging over 4 in this game. So I think it's been more about opportunity, as he didn't see much in the first half. But here in the second half, and we've seen him be bottled up, but certainly not to the level we saw him getting bottled up there in week 1.
Caswell, deep ball, it's caught in coverage. What a play by Hacker. He's got the touchdown, and he's got one of the most critical plays here in the second half.
Well, Cam, we're so used to Chris Curtis kind of being the guy here in Queen City. We don't often talk about Hacker, and here, Cam, if you look on the screen, there's 1 black uniform and 5 white uniforms around him on the field. Just visually, you can just see that this guy is special when it comes to getting separation in a crowd.
And that was Gus Schultz in coverage. Better luck next time, Gus, as Caswell, 1st and 10 from the 38, gives it off, and then going backwards, trying to look for some separation. Johnson, the 3rd, makes what is officially a 6-yard catch. 8 minutes and counting as Queen City is holding on to their 6-point lead they built just before the half.
Well, Johnson just making just a curl route there in front of the 1st down marker, catches the ball, but his momentum takes him back towards the quarterback a little bit, causing the 2nd and 4.
3 receivers, 2 backs in the backfield for Caswell with 7:38 to go in the 4th. Caswell fires outside, caught by Curtis. 1st down to the 47-yard line, and Chris Curtis 5 catches, 7 targets, moves the chains once more.
Well, that's all about Curtis's route running. He runs that 50X spot. He's actually comes inside and then goes back outside, and it just causes 5 or 6 yards of separation and an easy passing window for Caswell.
7:10 to go, fourth quarter. Caswell out of the gun. Not going to run this time. Fires short. What a play! Oh my goodness! Did you see that, Steven? That was that was Stanley Hudson on the defensive line who dives to get the deflection.
I don't know if the big fellow was trying to tackle or if he was actually trying to get a pass defend there, but he gets enough. He just gets enough of himself out there. He looked like he did a full body flop and stretch out to try and get that ball, or at least try to bring the tight end down. So yeah, amazing athletic play by the big fellow.
He was wishing there was some water underneath him. That's a slant inside, and that's a first down. Too easy as Vancouver backed off way too far. Lopez on the tackle, but Hacker makes another critical catch, and Queen City is close to making this a 2-score game.
Yeah, and it might be out of reach the way these two teams have been scoring so rarely here in this game that a field goal here might even be enough to put this one away.
Caswell out of the gun with 6:35 to go in the fourth. Deep shot down the field. It's knocked away and intercepted by Schultz. 25-30 to the 36-yard line. What a play by the rookie who was just picked up this week, and Vancouver has new life.
Cam, you like apples? Well, how about them apples, baby? We talk about Schultz. We talk about him. Welcome to the SFL, all that rookie stuff, that hazing stuff, and the guy comes away with what could be a game-changing interception here with just over 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, gives Vancouver's offense an opportunity to get back into this game and possibly take the lead.
Key was in coverage on Stephen Hacker, and now with the ball at the 36-yard line, Vancouver's got to do something, and they got to do something with it quick. Pepper back to pass, fires it down the middle of the field, it's intercepted, back the other way, Achilles Frank again, and Queen City takes it right back and puts the ball right where it was. Unbelievable mistake by Pepper.
Wow, I can do what you can do, says Achilles Frank. Gets an interception for an interception, but this is commonplace for this guy, number 25. Makes it look easy, reading the quarterback's eyes, anticipating the pass, catches it with 2 hands like he used to be a receiver in high school, and gets the extra yardage and gives Queen City yet another opportunity to put this game away.
4 wide receivers for Caswell out of the gun now with 6:23 to go in the fourth. And Caswell hit as he threw, and the pass is caught. Oh, what a move! Beat 2 defenders, and that's at Villanueva with his second catch down to the Legion 11-yard line.
Wow, the guts have come out here in this end of the fourth quarter. These are the kind of plays that we're missing in the first 3 quarters of this game. Very conservative football on both sides of the ball for both teams. But here, just so much action in the last 3 plays, Camp. 2 interceptions and that long reception putting them in the red zone.
Hand off to Odom, picks up 3, and now at this point it's almost a foregone conclusion that this is going to be a 2-score game. Steven, if I was Queen City, I would just run it to Odom 2 straight times, kick the field goal, and not worry about anything else.
Yeah, I'd agree about running the football. I wouldn't agree about this being a foregone conclusion. Not the way this game's been going, and not the way the last 5 plays have been going.
5.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Caswell going to throw. Caswell to the end zone. Caught, touchdown! Stephen Hacker! He has been brilliant tonight on a jump ball, and Queen City's up 15-3.
Cam, like Betamax, they don't make players like this anymore. Hacker, in a sea of white jerseys, rises up and brings that ball down. What confidence Caswell must have in this guy for him to throw the ball, really a 50-50 ball. The defender had an opportunity to get it, but Hacker snatches it away from him.
Major Key got mossed, and Queen City will elect to kick the extra point instead of going for 2 to go up 14. And the extra point is good. from Ricky Matthews, and the Corsairs are up 16-3 with 5:25 to go, and they can thank this victory for Stephen Hacker.
Yeah, Cam. I mean, I like my meatballs spicy, but I like my playmakers clutch, my friend. And he has been absolutely clutch in this game, coming away with big catch after big catch.
So Vancouver got a lot of work to do now with 5:25 to go as Braun gets it out to the 25.
Still a lot of time in this game, Cam, and we've seen big plays by Vancouver in their passing game in this game. So they're going to have to now really, the result of this game, the outcome, rest on the arm of Tom Pepper and whether he can take advantage of this defense and some of his bigger wide receivers.
This is pretty stunning as Vancouver put up 38 points last week, just 3 here on the road. They run it to Sanchez, and I don't necessarily blame him with the way Pepper's playing. It's a 2-score game, probably going to need onside kicks anyway, all 3 timeouts. Can't panic.
Yeah, and I think it's that 5-minute point, Cam, what kind of flips a switch in some of these XFL coaches' minds is, all right, that's the point where we know we've got to go really all out to try and get back into this game.
2nd down and 4 at the 31 for the Legion. They'll keep it on the ground again, trying to get Sanchez moving, and Sanchez gets a 1st down to the 36, and there you go, Steven, running no huddle here.
Well, that's the best run of the game, and I just hope they're not stuck in this formation here.
Back to pass is Tom, and Pepper flips it out to Sanchez. One man to beat. Sanchez is put down by Doty.
Yeah, and maybe a victim to their own no huddle and a small playbook.
Pepper back to pass again. Nobody was open. Hits Sanchez on a check down. And Queen City's coverage down the field just phenomenal.
Yeah, and if you're on the sidelines of your head coach, you need to try and get a timeout here, but they're not. They're going to go for it.
3rd and 5, 4:10 to go. Pepper scrambles around, pass caught to the 48-yard line. That reception made by Hansen again. Running quickly. Pepper in trouble. Tom Pepper going to go down. And Steven, they only have 1 star receiver on the field right now.
Yeah, it's just this formation. They got to get out of it. 2nd
and 16. Pepper again looking around for somebody to get open. Another sack. This is a disaster for Vancouver.
They're not calling timeouts. They haven't had a dead play. So they just keep running this no huddle.
Can't get out of bounds. 3rd and 21. The Legion, this is slipping away from the visitors as Pepper's pass is intercepted. Oh, what a terrible throw. That's Button, and he's going down the sideline, and Pepper's going to make the tackle at the 4. This game is over.
Wow, and it's just a wasted opportunity there for Vancouver. A terrible pass thrown by Pepper as Button was just clear as day in front of the receiver. There was no opportunity for that ball to ever get past him, and it's almost as if the pass was intended for him. We obviously know that wasn't the case, but just a bad play call, bad play calling that whole time. If you're going to go into no huddle like that, you just need a better formation than the weak ISO is what they had out there.
Man, what a mess that was for the Legion, and they're going to be licking some wounds here after tonight. 3:18 to go in the 4th. And Caswell's going to throw. Caswell backcourt of the end zone. Touchdown! It's Chris Curtis, and now it's a rout for the boys in green.
Yeah, absolutely bamboozles his defender here as he goes to the corner of the end zone. I'm not sure what Dante West was looking at or looking for, but really allowed Curtis to get enough separation there in the back corner where Caswell was really kind of an easy pass back there. A nice pinpoint pass by him under pressure. But again, the defender, I think, out of position, allowed too much separation for Curtis. Touchdown.
And we now, Steven, are the only game left of the night. And for those tuning in, this game has not been a blowout all night. This game was 9-3 pretty much the entire way, it feels like. And Queen City just recently turning on the juice, and Vancouver going back to last week's 4th quarter and this week's 4th quarter, they are not finishing games well.
Yeah, and boy, you just hate to see what happened on that previous series to Vancouver. They got stuck in a certain formation in no huddle and just didn't have a lot of great plays there situationally to try and get back to this ball game. But they had struggled a lot prior to that particular series, and so they had done and missed a lot of opportunities before then, particularly in just kicking field goals. That's got to be figured out. I'm not sure what's going on there on the sidelines with Ashley Finch, but that's certainly got to be figured out, and there certainly needs to be some adjustments to the playbook, which I'm sure they will do quickly this week to try and get themselves out of that kind of situation again.
At the end of the day, it probably wouldn't have mattered as Pepper is out of the empty 5-wide. That's what they wanted to be in it, and that last drive, Stephen, it just looked like Queen City just had them uncomfortable and feeling like Vancouver had to press and couldn't sub in players and just settle down. And this Corsairs secondary been rattling the Legion all night long.
Well, I think both teams really kind of lulled us to sleep, Cam, and suddenly Queen City woke up, and we've seen two almost back-to-back touchdowns from them, and Vancouver had just been napping through this entire game.
And Pepper is hit as he threw. That pass is incomplete. That's Jeff Duffy on the coverage, and that brings up a 3rd down and 10. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by Quip, perfect oral care delivered, by Richards Printworks, the official shop of the SFL, by ScoreStream, the official scoring app of the SFL, and by Spygoat, the sound choice. As Pepper puts an exclamation point on this game for Queen City's defense.
Well, Cam, you know, this has just gone all downhill for Vancouver. And just so quickly, you know, this is a game that was kind of a game of attrition for so long. But you can only keep the sleeping giant asleep for so long, especially in his own house. And, you know, at some point, Queen City's going to break through, and they've just done so in a big way.
4th and 17. Pepper's got to go for it, and that pass is knocked away. Sicario in coverage. And this has been a disastrous 4th quarter for the Vancouver Legion, who are going to fall to 1-1. Queen City will improve to 1-1, and watching action around the league tonight, not a lot of teams able to get to that elusive 2-0 number. The New Orleans Pharaohs and the Las Vegas Fury are the only teams so far to do so.
And I had an opportunity to watch that Pharaohs game. Boy, they looked impressive. You know, all the teams that I've seen so far, and we've had the pleasure of commentating so far, I think they've just been the most surprising to me, and clearly on their way up after just barely not making the playoffs last season. 1 game away, in fact. So I love to see these new up-and-coming teams starting to get in their rhythm, and it just, you know, it's great for the parity of this league. It just means that everybody has an opportunity. Everyone has an opportunity to be the next Alaska Storm here in the league.
That's the Quip 2-minute warning. Queen City, all Queen City in the 4th quarter, now up 20. This is the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Quip Design delivers simple ways to keep your mouth healthy with time vibrations, brush head refills for $5, refilled every 3 months, covered for life with free shipping for life. Use the link posted in the chat, and we'll try to get that for you shortly. And your purchase will help support the SFL through our partnership. Quip, a more wholesome clean, as Vancouver will burn their first time out. It's a 3rd down and 4 coming up.
And I think if you're Queen City, you're happy about the outcome, certainly, of this game. Certainly concerned, though, about the first 3 quarters, not scoring probably as much as they wanted to. A big explosion of points here at the end of the game has sealed it for you, but I don't think either team's real comfortable going into week 3.
Timeout for Vancouver. They do get the stop, will force the field goal. So it is 4th and 1. Queen City will have a chance to tack on some more points. Some games we didn't get to tonight. Oklahoma City beating St. Louis 37-28. We mentioned that a couple of teams had some trouble getting to 2-0. And hey, shout out also to the Denver Nightwings. They are the third team to get to 2-0. Steven, they were up 38-14, blew that lead, went to overtime 38-38, and then in overtime had a couple of critical passes and kicked a game-winning field goal and beat the Knights 41-38 at home.
Amazing. Can't wait to watch that one.
26-3. This one has not been amazing. Not in the slightest. Queen City's defense has been amazing. They have given up almost nothing, but this game 9-3, kind of a snoozer through 3 quarters, and then it was all Corsairs after that.
Yeah, a lot of question marks in this game, a lot of confusing situations. Certainly, not the fireworks show that you maybe would love as a viewer, but those who love defense and those that are intrigued by the minutiae of the game, still an enjoyable watch.
Next week, Queen City is at New Orleans, Steven. What a game.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. That's going to be awesome. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for the Corsairs. I mean, just the way how hot New Orleans is, and based on what they did their last away game, which was against Chicago, they just didn't look like Queen City, and they didn't look like Queen City in this game until the fourth quarter. So how does that translate into New Orleans with a red-hot Pharaohs team? I've given the edge to the Pharaohs early here, but you can never quite count out the 4-time champions.
Las Vegas is on a bye. The only other 2-0 team in the league right now, the Denver Nightwings, will be at San Francisco, and the Sharks getting the win over London in Week 1. We'll see them tomorrow night to see if they can improve to 2-0. So London has now lost 21-17 and 41-38. Tough break to start the season there for the Knights. Obviously better than their record. 5 receivers for Pepper on 2nd down and 10 is everything. Still a struggle for the Legion, but that pass is caught by Braun, who's going to break a tackle. Braun's got Doty and Frank catching him, and they will not catch him. And Chris Braun's in the end zone, and finally some relief for this Vancouver Legion offense.
Cam, I secretly wanted that to happen for one single reason. I want to see Ashley Finch come out here and kick this extra point.
Make sure she's all right.
Unless they're going to go for 2. But, yeah, I was hoping this would happen. We'll get an opportunity just to make sure that, the punter doesn't come out here and try to kick a field goal. But garbage time touchdown, good for the morale for Vancouver. But still not going to impact this particular game. Is it Finch?
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
There she is. And that was against all starters there. That was Doty, Sicario, and Frank in coverage and then pursuing on the tackle. And Chris Braun able to beat them all for the touchdown. And with that extra point, it's a 2-possession game, Steven. So a little onside kick magic could be coming for old Finchy.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
Yeah. Let's get down 26-3 and
then come back.
Hey, if London can almost do it, then Vancouver can almost do it. Onside kick here for Finch. Pretty good one, and a nice job fielding that through some traffic. Morris Gibson. 1:29 left, 1 timeout. Should be all knees for backup quarterback Max Barney, who gets a limited time with Caswell having such a great career.
Well, if you're Vancouver, I think what you take out of this game, Cam, is just the fact that you had to come in to Queen City and that your offense just didn't travel very well. You certainly saw a lot of explosion there in your first game. As you mentioned, 38 points, nearly 400 yards of offense. Coming into the game, or coming into Week 1, the #1 scoring offense in the SFL. And pretty much got humbled here in Queen City. So there's certainly a lot to work with. You know that you have a very talented team. Just need to go back and into the locker room and the playbook and get all that fixed up and get ready for your next game. And for Queen City, you just hope that you can extend what you saw in the fourth quarter of this game, and take that into New Orleans next week and hopefully try to pull out a tough road game.
How about this game next Friday, Stephen? 0-1 Alaska at 0-1 Tallahassee.
I don't want to. That's a bunch of losers.
Can you believe
Totally.
that? Somebody's going 0-2. Who could have ever expected that?
They need to call that game the Toilet Bowl. Those two losers playing each other. Yeah,
Golly.
It's unbelievable. That I don't think anyone would have predicted they'd both start the season 0-1. But I think it bodes well for the league because it just means that the two teams that really have been the most dominant, probably for at least the last two seasons, maybe even three, that they've been beaten so early shows you the talent across the board here in the SFL, and I think it just gives hope to a lot of teams.
Tomorrow night, Tulsa is at Dallas, Houston is at Carolina, and San Francisco is at Indy. Coverage starts at 7 Central here on the SFL Network on YouTube. And for Dallas, Houston, Carolina, Indy, they're all hoping to avoid starting the season 0-2, and Tulsa and San Francisco hope to join the 2-0 ranks with the Denver Nightwings, the New Orleans Pharaohs, the Chicago Wildcats, who I missed earlier, and the Las Vegas Fury. I don't think that would have been anybody's prediction to who would have been at the top of the standings through the first couple of weeks. 4 seconds left. Tom Pepper will have one last shot to air it out and pad some stats here. Tom 8, shout out to you. I literally just found this channel. It's good stuffing. Just what I needed, honestly. Well, that Discord link should be in the description of the video. Make sure to join us, and we'll see you on the field, hopefully in the next week or two, as Tom Pepper's pass is caught by Killian but out of bounds. And that is how this game is going to end. A rough night for Vancouver as Queen City gets their first win of the season, 1-0 at home, 26-10 over the Legion. Final stats and highlights rolling across your screen. Look at those turnovers, Steven. That was big.
Yeah, key to this game, certainly turning that ball over a lot, and that's a dangerous combination when your offense really isn't doing much on that side of the ball. Really a defensive slugfest for the first 3 quarters in this game, and then suddenly Queen City's offense came to life and became really electrifying there for those last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. But I think if you look back on this game, I'm not sure, you take away much from either team on this game. Pretty sluggish on both sides of the ball. If you're Queen City, you like the explosion that you saw at the end of the game, but certainly things to work on as you head into New Orleans next week. And for Vancouver, you know that you have talent. You know that you're offensively, you can have a lot of success, did last week, but really just came in and played kind of a stinker of a game offensively. Couldn't get the running game going really on either side of the ball. Both teams struggled on the run, had some passes get picked off, had some touchdown passes made. So it was really just kind of a game of explosive plays that were few and far between.
Lots of new guys in the chat. Dennis Green, Tornate, if I'm saying that correctly, Harrison Burns. This our Sunday night slate, 5 games, just about over. If you missed any action, you can watch them all on demand. There was a lot of thrilling action tonight. And make sure to check us out tomorrow. 3 games going on at once here on our YouTube channel. And we'll see you on Discord as well. I am the SFL Commissioner, Cameron Irvine. He's Dallas Lobos owner, Stephen Mullinex. And we were flying without a stat man tonight, and that was a little bit of a bummer, Stephen, because it probably would have been their easiest game all year.
Or their hardest. One of the two. Just depending upon which stats you're talking about. But yeah, welcome to the new guys there. As he mentioned, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central kickoff for all of those games, right? Correct, Cam? And, or at least we try to make it that. And this is only week 2. So with that other league ending in the playoffs, we are just beginning. So you can still get your football fix. Just switch over to us, on Friday nights, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays. We're running commentated games, and I think the most professional esports football league in the world.
Caswell gets the player of the game, and we're done from Buffalo. We're too cold. We got to turn those heaters on and get on up out of here. 26-10, Queen City beats Vancouver. For all of us at the Simulation Football League and the SFL Network, good night.
Dilly dilly.